On an hectare of land, you are supposed to have about 53,000 maize plants. So if you cultivate an hectare of land, for instance, and you end up having 25,000 maize plants, you need not be told that you have started making a loss already because you have reduced your yield by about 50%. One of the causes of yield loss in crop production is the farmer not having optimum plant population. So as a smallholder farmer, if you don't know what it means yet, I'll be explaining it to you. First, not having optimum plant population causes significant yield loss when you go into the production of crops. For instance, if you are a maize farmer or a cowpea farmer, cowpea is popularly called beans, or a soybean farmer. For maize, let's take maize for example. Just talk about maize so that it will be very, very clear. Maize plants, you need not be told that you have started making a loss already because you have reduced your yield by about 50%. If you are a smallholder farmer and you are still planting manually, then I must advise you to stop now so that you don't continue to reduce your yield. So you can adopt either of these three. Being a smallholder farmer, it may not be realistic to use tractor mounted planters, but with something like this is a planter that you can easily use this way. You put the seeds inside this place. This is where you put the seeds, and then you plant this way. This is the way you plant. You plant this way. So I have three planters here, but why this is the cheapest of them all, it is the I wouldn't advise that you get this because I have better ones. So this is another one. This is a Nigerian fabricated and pushed planter. This is also a very good one because it has been calibrated to the recommended spacing for maize. So this is calibrated to 25 centimeters. So you can just plant. I'm talking about the intra-row spacing. The intra-row spacing of this is 25 centimeters, and all you have to do while you are planting with this is to just push this way. Can you see? So, and it plants for you. It is very, very easy, and it is calibrated to 25 centimeters. So with this, you can have the optimum plant population. Meanwhile, I have another planter here as well, which is the best of all. If you are going to get a planter, I would recommend that you get this. This is a China fabricated planter. One good thing with this is that it has the fertilizer compartment. So if you want to apply fertilizer at planting, it is very easy, and it also has the seed compartment. So like the earlier one, all you have, it is also calibrated to 25 centimeters spacing, except if you wish to adjust it to 50 centimeters. And when you are using this, all you have to do is push it. Okay, look at this. So you only have to push it this way, and it is very, very fast. So it plants for you. So out of these three planters, this is the cheapest one, but I do not recommend this because it comes with a bit of drudgery, and the work is not as fast as the other two. And this is also a very good one. This is a very good one, although the precision is quite lower compared to this, because instead of your planter to plant one seed per row with the 25 centimeter spacing, this can end up planting 2, 3 or 4 seeds per row. But this is very, very good. This is if you cannot afford the China fabricated one, this is very, very good. This is Nigerian fabricated, and about 60,000 naira will get you this. If you have 60,000 naira, you can get this, and you will really, really enjoy it, because with this you can achieve the optimum planting population on your land. So this is over 100,000 naira, but if you get this, it is going to save you. It is going to save you. You can use it to plant maize, you can use it to plant soybean, you can use it to plant sorghum. It comes with different seeders, so the seeders are of different sizes to accommodate different type of plants, different crops. So the seeder is here. You can easily change it to another one of smaller size if you are planting a seed that is smaller than maize, and you can also change it to a bigger one if you are planting a seed that is bigger than maize. So this is very, very good. Unlike the earlier two, you should get this one. Just discussed about the intra-row spacing, that is spacing within the row. Can you see these maize plants? So the spacing we have discussed is that within the row. For instance, you are supposed to have 25 centimeter um, within the rows. Take a look at this. This is 25 centimeters, and this is one maize plant, and this is another maize plant, and that's 25 centimeters. So this planter was used in planting that, so it is automatically calibrated to that. So the second one you should take care of in case of maize planting is spacing in between the rows. Take a look at this. So this is one row, this is one row, and this is another row. So how do you get, because if you get spacing within the rows correctly and you still have problem with the spacing in between the rows, which is the inter-row spacing, then there's still a problem because you will still not have the optimum plant population. So all you have to let me show you this. For instance, we are supposed to have 75 centimeter distance in between rows of maize, in between maize rows. Take a look at this. So this is 75 centimeters. This is 75 centimeters. But how do you achieve this uniformly on your land? I'll be showing you how to do that in few steps. First thing you need to do is to get a stick. This is a stick. You can just get a tiny stick that cannot break easily, and then you measure 75 centimeters. Can you see? So this is 75 centimeters on this stick. So you keep it, and then you what you now do is that you go to the area you want to plant. So you go to the area of land you want to plant, and you go to the point where you will start the first row. So you place it here this way. Let's assume the first row is starting from this point. So you know that the second row will start here. So you peg it with you peg it this way. Take a look at this peg. You peg it this way, and then you start pushing the planter. So you know the first row is starting from here. So you go to the end of the row. Show them the end of the row. That's the end of the row. Can you see a peg over there? I'm just using this small piece of land as demonstration for you. So you go to the end of the row, and then you place another peg there. On this first row, you place another peg there. So if you start pushing this planter, from the start of the row, this feed has been planted already, so I'm not going to push it. So if you are going like this, then you set your eye to this peg at the other end of this row. So you see, you will be coming to this peg. So we also have another stick of 75 centimeter length here. So when you get here, you use it to measure the next row. So you know that the next row is starting from here, and don't forget that we already have a peg at the other end of this row. So you start pushing your planter from here as well. So you start pushing your planter from here, and then you'll be targeting the peg you have installed over there. So you start going this way, until you get to this peg at the end of this row, and then you continue that way. This is the 75 centimeter per stick. You also measure another 75 centimeter. Take a look at it. So this is where it stops on the other row, and the peg must have been installed on this row as well, and you start pushing it. So that's the way you do it. With this, if you plant this way, you are going to achieve the optimum plant population of 53,000 plants of maize stand per hectare. And if you are planting groundnut, for instance, and you are also planting this way, you are also going to have the optimum plant population of 133,000 plants per hectare. And this way you are going to have high yield. So you might have noticed that this feed is not actually, we have some seeds that have not germinated. We have some species. This was only used for demonstrative purposes alone, and the seeds that were used for this planting had low viability. So we are going to do supplying on this feed to correct this. So for instance, that's what I should also remind you to do as a farmer. After you must have planted, then you notice that there are some points that have not germinated, like this point for instance. Can you see? there is supposed to be another plant here. This, if you measure like this, where there is supposed to be another plant here. So one thing you should do as a farmer is to do supplying. What we do supplying is you come here and then you plant another maize seed there. And also you should do thinning on your feed so that you don't have overcrowding. While you are targeting to have optimum plant population on your land, you should also be targeting not overcrowding your farmland. So for instance, we are using 25 centimeter spacing on this farmland. That means you are supposed to have one maize stand per hole. You are supposed to have one maize stand per spot. And if you take a look at this, we have two. So all you have to do in this case is to look at the elder one, which is elder. This looks elder, so you keep this and then you thin. This is how you thin. You remove this. Ensure you do this shortly after rainfall so that you don't kill the other plant, and then you remove it that way. So that's what we call thinning.